you know, density in what these movements actually mean, right? Because this isn't just an exercise in a game that we're playing with our friends. This is something that we can take where you're trying to get them to understand where their center is, and then how to make that feeling move to where their skin stops, and then how to make that feeling go as far as anything that they could touch if they were to, you know, pivot and move through a range of motion, right? This is my space. This is my space. Now this is my space. Now this is my space, right? And by the time something gets into that reach, you have a choice of whether or not you're going to be an active participant and what happens with you, you know? So, without working with partners, especially in the little kids class, that's the main idea that we're trying to get them to understand first, is that importance of keeping their space and their extension, right? And so you can use any of these arena movements like this, where they have to walk towards you, right? Keep walking towards me, walk towards me, walk towards me, walk towards me, where neither one of us really back down on this connection, but nobody is taking a hit where they're, you know, forcing through and being sacrificed, right? It's where everybody's got to learn. I used the metaphor of like we're trying to be like magnets with our partners, right? Where one of us is moving because the other person's energy and space and everything is orbiting with us, right? So then, for the Ukemi side of it, we can have so the idea would be, I talk about how similar all these shapes are, right? You can do muscle confusion. This is where we don't play games, but you can do muscle confusion exercises, right? Where you can, let's just do this one all together, right? So say for instance, we're in Migi Hanmi, which means right. Do we all know that? Awesome. No? The senior student doesn't know that? Okay, Migi Hanmi is right. So if we're in Hanmi, and this is actually like really, really key to show somebody that's a brand new beginner, because it makes all the stuff, all of the individual pieces have a connection and a correlation, right? So from here, you're in Migi Hanmi, Idari Hanmi, Irimi, Tenshin, Tenkan, and then from here, sink and bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees, right? And from here, drop your weight down towards your front knee. And yeah, you don't have to roll, right? This is your first front roll setup. And then come back, feet together underneath you, drop to the other side, right? Let your back foot go out and extend, shoulder down. So whenever you set up for your Ukemi, your knee needs to be facing the direction you're trying to go for a forward roll, right? So your line here, because you're still in Hanmi again, right? So I'm in Hanmi, 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 Hanmi. Over and over and over and over and over. It's all just a repeated, similar shapes, right? So then your Ukemi is all a foundation of like a bowl shape, right? And so right now my bowl is tilting this direction. And if I'm trying to roll in that direction, then I'm going to spill the bowl forward. And this whole circle that's in front of my legs, right here, if I were to drop backwards to this one, that bowl is now sitting in this shape, right? So if it tilts forward, now it's here. If it goes backwards, now it's here, right? So it kind of makes all of these movements have little pieces that are like keyed together, right? So depending on where you want to start or what you're trying to do with the class, once you figure out where you're going, if you want to do this in warm-ups, I teach it where you slide take katana down so that you go past your wrist, past your shoulder, past everything, go across your back, and by the time you get to the other side, you're pushing up, right? Elbows as close to your knees as possible. Slide this away, all the way across, And then as you come up, you're letting your leg be the part that's pushing you up, not your shoulder. And you can find some more extension in your shoulder if you really let this slide past you to get on all the way down. Yes. And so reminding them to take their chin to their chest and squeeze their stomach muscles together if they need to so that they get round on the outside, right? And then if you move forward, you're going in that same sort of sliding this past you in the front to get your shoulder here, right? So you can use this as an exercise where they have to maybe shika forward once. So you would have knee, shoulder, and ear in one line. And if I'm looking at my hips and my knees like a box, then I'm aiming for my ear and my shoulder to be right here. Right? Because we're trying to safely move diagonally across our spine. So as you have a down, this up is essential or else you're going to fall in one pile right here. You need the momentum to travel across. So there should be still more drive left over, continuing to push forward, right? So as this is all moving, I'm trying to keep my nose in line with this bone and all the way over, right? So the kids, now that you've had you've heard the words, you've seen the movements, now it's how to connect with each type of person you experience working with, all right? So some of them will come in and they'll immediately tell you how their day is going. And they need to be heard, or they will think about it the entire time. And they won't do anything else until they get to say what they need to say about what happened to their day, right? Other kids will be very quiet. Other kids might just be ready to get down to business. They're ready to practice. They're excited about being there. Every once in a while, you're going to see a kid that really shows lots of apprehension about being here. And we need to figure out whether